Hi, I'm Danielle Diamond, creator of Xen Strength Yoga, and today I want to show you a fun way to experiment turning your world upside down by practicing handstand. I know, you may not have flipped up like this since middle school, but trust me, once you get it, you'll be giving up your morning coffee for this rush of blood to the head. Let's get started. So whenever I teach handstand in class, I always start with teaching right angle. It's a great way to test your strength and to get the alignment down of handstand before you actually go to the wall and flip yourself completely upside down. So that's where we'll start today. You want to make sure that you start from the correct alignment. So you want to find a wall and come into tabletop right up against it. So you definitely want your heels touching the wall, or else when you try and come up into right angle, your alignment will be all off, and you definitely don't want that. So come into tabletop with your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Press all four corners of your palms down and externally rotate your biceps and your shoulders as you plug your shoulder blades down your back. So you want to try and get your inner elbows facing as far forward as you can so that you have the correct alignment in the upper body when you come upside down. Then you're going to press your feet into the wall, engage your core a ton, and then lift your knees up. You want to come into a little short down dog here, but keep your shoulders over your wrists. Then to go next step, you want to take one foot onto the wall and you want to see about where your hip is. Then again, engage your core. All inversions involve a ton of core strength, so you want to have that working here. Press your foot into the wall and then step your other foot up. And you want to have, again, your shoulders over your wrists, and you want to try and get your feet as much in line with your hips as you can. Okay, so you want to stay here and hug your forearms in toward one another. Press your thighs up toward the ceiling as you roll your thighs in and up, and just let your head hang and relax the neck. If you want to go further, take one foot off the wall, flex through the foot as if you're standing in Tadasana, and press the heel up toward the ceiling. Then you can bring one foot down and bring the other one up. Keep plugging your shoulder blades down your back as you lift and lower the foot. Good. Then step one foot down, step the other foot down, bring the knees down, and then you want to rest in child's pose for a few breaths. Good. So pretend I rested in child's pose for a few breaths there. Then we'll come out. So the next step is to come into a full handstand against the wall. The good news is right angle is actually harder than handstand, if you can believe it. Okay? So to come into a full handstand up against the wall, you want to turn around. You want to basically, handstand is Tadasana upside down, right? So when we're standing up straight, you know, a lot of us stand like this, especially when you're like online at Whole Foods, right? But if we were trying to stand up straight, we wouldn't try and lift our head up toward the ceiling. We would root through our feet to lift and engage up to pull the crown of the head up to the ceiling, right? So same thing when we're upside down. If we're upside down on our hands in handstand, we don't try and like wiggle our feet up toward the ceiling. We root our palms down to lift up through the heels. So you want to just think again of handstand being Tadasana upside down. Okay? So excuse the butt shot here, but I got to turn around. So you want to have your hands about a palm distance away from the wall. And then again, you want to come into that short down dog so that you get your shoulders as close to being over the wrists as you can. So the real trick here is getting the pelvis up. It's not the legs. The legs aren't what you're trying to get close to the wall. The pelvis is the heaviest bone in the body. So no matter how big you are, that's what you're trying to get up. So you're gonna lift one leg off the floor, right? And this might be it for you today. You might just focus on rolling the thigh in and up so that the hips are straight, okay? And you do wanna definitely focus on that, because if you start to kick with your hip open, you're gonna jump, and not only can you torque your back, but if you're in class, you might karate chop the person next to you, which definitely don't wanna do, right? So you wanna roll that thigh in and up, get nice and straight, and then just start taking little kicks, right? So it might just look like this to begin with. Okay? Eventually, you're going to engage your core so much that you're just going to float up to the wall. Okay? Once you get up here, you want to make sure that you don't come into that banana back, right? So you don't want to look like this, right? You want to press through the palms and lift up the heels. Now, since you're away from the wall, you're going to be on a little bit of an angle, but once you start to feel more comfortable, you can bring one foot to the wall and then the other, and then control that pelvis by pressing the feet into the wall and lifting up so you're nice and straight, right? So then once you're comfortable here, you could take one foot off the wall and then the other foot off the wall, and you can start to balance, right? So you want to engage your core and lift up before you fall down. I'm sorry, I was upside down for a long time, so it's hard to talk. But the trick is there, again, to really engage the core and start to lift your feet up as you press the palms down. One other trick I can show you. So once you start to feel like you want to bring your feet off the wall, you could come a little closer to the wall and bring the back of your head to the wall, right? So then you want to bring your fingertips really close up here, and you're going to come to the wall and then just gently kick yourself up, right? And instead of having your feet on the wall, you're going to put the back of your head to the wall and then take your feet off. Right? And then the same thing, you'll feel that engagement. So if you start to fall over, you'll feel the core engage just as you would if you were off the wall. So once you feel comfortable here, you press through the palms, lift up, and then hold yourself up off the wall. Good. All right, like out of breath. You'll see when you try it. But it's great, seriously, like you get so much energy from flipping yourself upside down that you really won't even need that coffee in the morning anymore. I try and start every day with a handstand. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to get yourself into a handstand and slash that fear that you might have had of trying this new pose. Practice a little bit and then comment in the section below and let us know how you're doing. Have a great day.